INFJs, beware of this type of person in life. INFJs, you are known for your deep empathy, intuition, and desire for meaningful connections. However, there's a certain type of person in life that can completely derail you, leaving you feeling drained, confused, or even hurt. This type of person might seem harmless at first, but trust me, they can be incredibly toxic to your emotional well-being. In today's video, we're going to talk about these individuals, how to spot them, why they specifically target INFJs, and most importantly, how to protect yourself emotionally. You might have encountered them in your life already, or perhaps you're unknowingly letting them drain your energy. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of who these people are, why they affect you so deeply, and how to set healthy boundaries. 1. The manipulator, master of gaslighting. Manipulative people use gaslighting tactics to confuse and control you. As an INFJ, you are naturally empathetic and tend to trust your intuition, but a manipulator will twist your perceptions, making you doubt your reality. Think back to a time when someone made you question your feelings. A manipulator might tell you that you're too sensitive or overreacting when you express your concerns, leaving you second-guessing your emotions. Imagine pouring your heart out to someone, sharing a personal experience or vulnerability, and instead of receiving support, you are met with accusations that you're imagining things. This leaves you feeling isolated and emotionally exhausted. Start documenting conversations and interactions that feel manipulative. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. Setting clear boundaries and learning to say no without guilt will also help protect you from their influence. 2. The energy vampire, sucking the life out of you. Energy vampires are individuals who drain your emotional energy without offering any in return. They may seem needy, but their constant demands for attention or emotional labor are never reciprocated. A close friend might always call you when they're in crisis, but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. They monopolize your time, leaving you emotionally empty. You've probably experienced the feeling of walking away from a conversation with someone like this, only to realize that you're emotionally drained. You give so much of yourself, but they never seem to notice, much less appreciate it. Prioritize your energy. Set boundaries on how much emotional support you're willing to give and recognize when it's time to walk away. Practice self-care and ensure you have people around who nurture you as much as you nurture them. 3. The victim, forever playing the role of the martyr. The victim plays the martyr, constantly feeling as though the world is out to get them. They draw you in with their stories of misfortune and use guilt to manipulate your actions. A family member or friend constantly tells you how their life is unfair or how they're always the one who suffers. They rarely take responsibility for their actions, instead blaming others for their struggles. You may have felt sympathy for them at first, wanting to help. But over time, their constant negativity starts to wear you down. No matter what you do, it's never enough to lift their spirits, and you begin to feel burdened by their endless complaining. Empathy doesn't mean sacrificing your mental health. While it's important to support others, it's also crucial to recognize when someone is emotionally exploiting you. Practice active listening, but don't take on their burdens as your own. Gently remind them of their own power and encourage them to take responsibility for their choices. 4. The narcissist, center of their own universe. Narcissists are self-centered, manipulative individuals who lack empathy and are obsessed with their own needs and desires. They might make you feel like you're not important or even invisible. You could be having a conversation with them, but instead of listening to what you're saying, they turn it around to talk about themselves. The narcissist expects constant admiration but never offers any in return. You may have felt diminished or invalidated when in the presence of a narcissist. Their lack of empathy makes it hard to connect with them emotionally, leaving you feeling lonely even when they're physically there. Recognize their self-centered behavior and set strict emotional boundaries. Don't engage in their need for validation, and never let them diminish your worth. You deserve relationships where you feel heard, appreciated, and valued. 5. The drama queen/king, always in crisis. Drama queens, or kings, thrive on creating chaos and stirring up unnecessary drama. They make mountains out of molehills and drag you into their crises, leaving you feeling stressed and overwhelmed. A coworker or acquaintance might constantly approach you with exaggerated stories of how their life is in turmoil. Every small issue is an emergency, and you're expected to drop everything to help. You may have felt yourself dragged into their never-ending cycle of drama, feeling like you're constantly trying to put out fires. The stress of being involved in their chaos can leave you emotionally and mentally exhausted. Maintain a calm and composed presence around drama. Politely distance yourself from unnecessary conflicts and focus on finding peace in your own life. Encourage others to find solutions instead of wallowing in their problems. 6. The saboteur, unintentionally holding you back. Saboteurs may not consciously try to hurt you, but they inadvertently hold you back from achieving your full potential. They may be well-meaning but are often trapped in their own insecurities and fears. A friend might give you well-meaning advice but subconsciously undermine your goals by suggesting you play it safe or don't aim too high. Their fear of your success can subtly limit your growth. Imagine you're excited about a new venture, but someone close to you expresses doubt. Their fear-based responses make you second-guess yourself. This self-doubt can hold you back from taking risks or pursuing what truly lights you up. Recognize when someone's advice is coming from a place of fear rather than support. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth and who genuinely believe in your potential. Cut out negative influences that stunt your progress. 7. The charmer, cunning and charming with a hidden agenda. The charmer may appear friendly, charismatic, and kind-hearted, but they often have a hidden agenda. They use their charm to manipulate others into doing what they want. You might find yourself charmed by their sweet words and gestures, but soon realize that they always expect something in return. Their kindness is transactional. Initially, you feel flattered and appreciated. But as time passes, you realize that their affection isn't genuine. Their charm hides an ulterior motive, leaving you feeling betrayed. Be cautious of people who always seem to have something to gain from your relationship. Real kindness doesn't come with strings attached. Trust your intuition and be mindful of your emotional investment in these individuals. 8. The critic, always pointing out your flaws. The critic is someone who constantly points out your flaws or mistakes, often disguised as constructive feedback. They may make you feel inadequate or as if you're never doing enough, undermining your confidence. Think of a colleague who criticizes your work in front of others, making you feel small. Or perhaps a partner who constantly finds faults in your appearance or actions, making you second-guess your every move. You've probably felt that sinking feeling when someone criticizes you, even when you've done your best. You might even try to change for them, but nothing ever seems to be good enough. This leaves you feeling disheartened and unworthy. Remember, you are your own best critic. Constructive criticism is helpful when it's delivered with kindness and respect, but when it's aimed at tearing you down, it's not valuable. Set boundaries with people who criticize you harshly, and trust your own self-worth. Practice self-compassion and recognize when feedback is genuinely helpful versus when it's a means of control. 9. The avoider, emotionally unavailable or detached. The avoider is emotionally distant and disengaged. They have a hard time opening up, and they avoid deep conversations or emotional intimacy. This type of person may leave you feeling frustrated and unsupported when you need them the most. A close friend or partner may shut down when you try to discuss something meaningful or emotionally important to you. When you're vulnerable, they might deflect, change the subject, or leave the conversation unresolved. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone, pouring your heart out, only to be met with silence or indifference? It's as if you're talking to a wall. This detachment can leave you feeling invisible, unheard, and emotionally unfulfilled. Recognize that some people may simply not have the emotional capacity to meet you where you are. Don't take their avoidance personally, it's often a reflection of their own emotional barriers. It's important to set realistic expectations in relationships and focus on nurturing connections with those who are emotionally available and willing to engage with your feelings. 10. The perfectionist, never satisfied, always demanding more. The perfectionist has impossibly high standards, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. They often make you feel like you're falling short of their expectations, no matter how much effort you put in. Perhaps a friend or colleague constantly points out the smallest imperfections in your work or behavior, even when you've put in hours of effort. Their need for everything to be perfect can make you feel as though you're constantly disappointing them. Imagine spending hours on a project, only for someone to nitpick every little detail, making you feel as if all your hard work was pointless. It's draining, and over time, it chips away at your confidence and motivation. Set clear boundaries with perfectionists, especially if their standards are unrealistic. Learn to recognize when their perfectionism is making unreasonable demands on you. Focus on progress, not perfection, and surround yourself with people who appreciate effort and growth over flawlessness. 11. The constantly right one, never open to other perspectives. This person believes they are always right, no matter what. They refuse to acknowledge any perspective that doesn't align with their own, and they can be incredibly stubborn, even to the point of dismissing facts or others' feelings. In a discussion or debate, no matter how much evidence or reasoning you present, this person refuses to listen, often turning the conversation into an argument. They'll dismiss your opinions and make you feel like you're wrong or misinformed. You've probably been in a situation where you tried to express a different point of view, only to be shut down immediately. This leaves you feeling unheard, invalidated, and frustrated. Their arrogance makes it impossible to engage in meaningful dialogue. With people like this, it's important to realize that you're not going to change their mind, so don't waste emotional energy trying. Instead, focus on calmly asserting your perspective without trying to convince them. If necessary, disengage from these discussions to preserve your peace. 12. The attention seeker, needing constant validation. The attention seeker is someone who craves constant validation and admiration. They will often make themselves the center of attention, and may even try to put you down to make themselves feel superior. A friend or acquaintance might constantly post on social media, seeking compliments or praise, and they might even manipulate situations to get attention. They often need constant reinforcement that they are important. You've likely experienced the feeling of being overshadowed by their need for attention. Whether in a group or one-on-one, they always manage to make the conversation or situation about them, leaving you feeling unimportant or unseen. Establish boundaries with attention seekers by politely redirecting conversations away from them when necessary. Encourage others to engage in conversations with more balance, and remember that seeking external validation should never replace self-worth. If someone's behavior continually makes you feel overlooked, it's okay to step away. 13. The jealous competitor, always comparing and competing. The jealous competitor constantly compares themselves to you, and may subtly undermine your success out of envy. They feel threatened by your abilities and may try to outdo you in subtle or not so subtle ways. A colleague or friend might seem to always have a one-up story or might downplay your achievements while inflating their own. They can't genuinely celebrate your success because they feel the need to compete with you. You might feel like your accomplishments are minimized or invalidated by this person, which can make you feel frustrated or even guilty for succeeding. Their competitive nature doesn't allow for healthy collaboration, only rivalry. Recognize that this person's behavior is rooted in their own insecurity. Continue celebrating your wins without feeling guilty, and don't let their jealousy affect your confidence. Surround yourself with people who genuinely want to see you succeed. 14. The everything is fine person, denying the reality of problems. This person refuses to acknowledge problems or issues, constantly saying everything is fine even when it clearly isn't. They avoid confrontation, sweep issues under the rug, and often leave things unresolved. A partner might avoid addressing issues in your relationship, brushing off your concerns with a smile and a quick "it's no big deal." However, the unaddressed problems build up over time and cause more stress. It's frustrating when someone denies the existence of a problem, leaving you feeling like your concerns are invalid or unimportant. You may feel like you're the only one seeing things clearly, but the avoidance creates emotional distance. Practice addressing issues head-on, even if it feels uncomfortable. Encourage open and honest conversations where problems can be acknowledged and resolved. If the person continues to avoid the truth, it may be necessary to reevaluate the relationship. Throughout this video, we've discussed various types of toxic people that INFJs often encounter in life. From the manipulator to the avoider, these personalities can leave you emotionally drained, confused, and frustrated. But the important takeaway is that you are not powerless. As an INFJ, your emotional depth and empathy are incredible gifts, but they also make you more susceptible to these types of individuals. By recognizing the warning signs and setting firm boundaries, you can protect your emotional health and create more fulfilling, balanced relationships. Start being more intentional with your connections. Surround yourself with people who support your emotional well-being and encourage your growth. If any of these types resonate with you, take the necessary steps to protect yourself, and don't be afraid to cut ties with those who no longer serve your highest good. You deserve peace, love, and respect. Don't settle for toxic relationships that drain your energy or stunt your growth. As you move forward, trust in your intuition, and remember that your emotional well-being is your top priority. If this video resonated with you, please leave a comment below and share your experiences. Let's continue this conversation and support each other in creating healthier, more balanced lives. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can keep growing together. You're not alone, INFJ. Take care of yourself, and until next time.